Good morning, it's Liz again. I am participating in a junk journal challenge called the Spring Stashbuster Challenge. It's put on by Cara, Brandon, and Dear Julie. And I like challenges because they push me to do new things. And this actually is a no-buy challenge. You're supposed to use things from your stash, which I'm in desperate need of clean out. If I could make 12 journals, that would be even better in the time allotted. But I had a couple of things that I've owned that I wanted to use. One of them is this card. It's a greeting card I got a couple of years ago. I really like the image on it. It's a cat in a bathtub. But it's a greeting card, and I wanted to turn it into a journal. And when I have used things like cards before, the problem is the spine. And I've already fixed this one, but most of them come to a point, being greeting cards, and your signatures never sit nicely in it. They're always much wider here, and they don't hold as much, and this, that, and the other thing. So what I did is I put this greeting card on the scoreboard, and on either side of the fold, I went out 1/4 of an inch and scored it. And then to reinforce that so that it wasn't floppy, I used these trims that I have been saving like a crazy person from scrapbook paper. It comes sometimes, instead of 12 by 12, it's branded by the designer and it's 12 by 12.5. And you cut this off, and sometimes on one of the sides it has a little design on it. And that is exactly the right size, although I had to trim it down a little bit on the inside to reinforce this. And so I glued a strip on the inside and a strip on the outside, and then used my new crocodile that I hadn't had a chance to play with yet to make the eyelets for the cord. And ordinarily I wouldn't put the eyelets this close to the edge, but because this had this design on it, that's where I put them. And I learned that I need to look at it from a different angle because this one is a little close to the edge, which I couldn't see from the side that I was using it. So this is going to be my cover for my Stashbuster junk journal for the spring challenge. And within that challenge, they had a couple of mini challenges. The first one is to make 6 embellishments. You can have a base, but they each need to have lace, something round, something metal, and something to the right of your workspace. Well, to the right of my workspace is pretty much my entire workroom, the way my current craft room is set up. So that one was kind of a cheat, but I did manage to make 6. It turns out the hard bits were the metal and the round things. Apparently I just don't have enough round things. And until recently I hadn't started using brads or any eyelets, so I didn't have very many metal things. So this one, obviously this is the base. I liked it because it was reminiscent of the card. I did find some lace. I use very little lace as well. I think I had exactly 6 pieces. This is a mini envelope, and I used a round thing for the button, which looks like a little seal. And the metal is the little brad that is holding this card in place, which I like because it adds a little movement to the card. So that's number 1. And then number 2, this is something metal and something round, some lace, a base, and something that was to the right of me. And this is a little envelope that actually functions and will go over the top of a page probably and be secured in place. So that's number 2. And number 3, I wanted to get a little variety in here. This has a base, and I actually used 2 something rounds, some lace, this little piece of paper was, of course, to the right of me. And then I have two tiny little dragonfly beads that I glued on. And this is an envelope, and there's a pocket there, and then there's a pocket right there as well. So that's number 3. Number 4, I left the lace hanging off of because I want to put it on a page for decoration, and it's shorter than the book, so I'm thinking it's going to go over the whole book. So this is something to the right of me, something lace, something metal, and something round. This is actually a little car button that sticks up a lot further than I wish it did, but that's just going to be a lump in the journal. But so let's see, that's 4. Number 5. This is a plied piece of fiber. It's actually 3 strands of embroidery floss, and I used to be a rug weaver, and I still have the fringe twister. So I used the fringe twister as something to the right of me to make this, to secure this little metal dog, and I agonized over how to attach it for about half an hour. I'd probably never be able to replicate it, but it's on a tag, and I have lace here across the corner, and my something round is this sticker that says love is a 4-legged word. I do have a couple of cat items that are going to go into this little booklet. And then number 6 has not yet been on the sewing machine. It's going to get sewn around the edges, and then I'll trim this lace off. A base, something metal, something round, and things that were to the right of me. It says Timeless Moments, and this is actually on a Project Life card, and I took sewing pattern paper and stamped it, and then used my glue stick to adhere it, the card to the paper, and then I cut out just a whole bunch of these. I have these bases available to use whenever I need to. So I think those are all going to look lovely in my Stashbuster book. Thank you so much for watching. I hope your day is off to a fantastic start. Take care.